and this is the Media Roundtable as we take a look at what the stories have made headlines, the biggest stories that have made headlines. Derek, I'd like to start with you. It's week one, or the first 5 days of the parliamentary elections, and also the presidential campaign trail continuing. Do we see any change from what some people had said is boring, it is calm, it is just... We don't feel being in an election. That's what some people said when we only had the presidential candidates. Now that we've added hundreds of, I think some millions of people into the election season, what do you see? Is there any change?
There's certainly a shift from what we saw in 2021. Fundamental shift in my view. In terms of the use of force, violence, and all that, the fact that we are not seeing a lot of tear gas flying around. I was in Mbarara last weekend when the Bobby Wine team was rounded up and hundreds of them are arrested, taken to police. I saw them being arraigned in courts of law the entire week, really, and being charged with different counts. It brought back the memories of the 2021 Kalangala incident. It was not as scared as it was in Kalangala, but certainly that is something that you would say is always synonymous with government and security. I always like to listen to my friend Timothy Kalejira. Says that this government is always can do like 1,000 things, but you are always going to be, they are always going to be moving on eggshells, and as receivers and recipients, we are always going to be eager. They will somehow, just somehow always make a mistake here, and before you know, everything good that they have done just turns around. So for me, I think that's the very big black spot that has dented so far this election, the arrests that happened in Mbarara last week. They dent the calmness with which we have been told.
The gains in that case were not protected.
I don't know whether there are gains being protected here. But in my view, that dents it. I saw the Honorable Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Mao, saying that this is going to be the quietest. Most peaceful. You will not actually realize there is a campaign happening in Uganda. And what happened in Mbarara probably sweeps away that statement and brings back the default setting in the kind of elections that we always have in the country. So yes, there is certainly a change, especially with the entrance of the MPs and local government positions and as candidates to begin their campaigns. There has been a deliberate switch from big rallies. The person who is doing a big rally is the one who is just launching their campaigns. Then after launching the campaigns, you're not going to see that. Personal. Yeah, go door to door and things like that. I witnessed the door to door mechanism as one of the most effective mechanisms when I was covering the Chadondo East by-election in 2017. Honorable Kyagulanyi literally left every car of his in Magere and moved through Kabubu, through Chitezi, through wherever, on foot. And he would run, he would go from one house to another. He would have lunch wherever he found, like around lunchtime, he finds the family eating, he will have lunch with them and then continue. Then he would have one rally in the evening in one designated parish. And I saw it so effective. I saw a 78% win for him. It was actually opposite to some of the other aspirants with whom he was in the campaign. The Apollo Kantintis, the Mwadanko Nyinjis, all the others. for them, they remained in the conventional, rallies and stuff. But if now our MPs are saying that we want to get in touch with families, with individuals, it is a very good thing. And for me, I feel it should be the way to go.
Okay.
But then we should ask the question, why are they doing this? To be honest, they are broke. People are seriously
That's another
broke, to be honest.
conversation.
Yes.
But I thought that going door to door would then make you get out as much.
You see, going door to door would mean you go and speak to a family. You speak your heart out
and tell them
the honest truth. But I want you to elect me.
All right, Derek, I'll come back to you on that.
But to be honest, it is just about the financial situation.
I asked a member of parliament. I was joking with one of the members of parliament. I'm like, you're in Kampala, you're not on ground.
Yes.
What is happening?
Yes.
And they said, I know what the voters want. I have to calculate my days, get like 20 days, know that I am going to spend maybe 10 million shillings every day, go for those 20 days, and the election is done. He's an incumbent, actually, and the election is done. I said, this is where we've gotten. Timothy, I'd like to come to you. The new entrants are the members of parliament who started off this very week. And now we are seeing them clearly changing tactic or mechanism. Those who are probably in the urban areas are saying, let's also get to use a little bit of the social media, new media to campaign. Others are saying, let's go door to door. It's more heart to heart, and we get to speak our minds out. Has this brought about a change on the political scene after the presidential candidates were on it a month about?
I think that, as Wandera says, this is largely an economic approach. It is not necessary. Sometimes it's an approach that is determined by the
size of the pocket.
Yeah. And looking at what we've had previously, the cost of, elections quite high. Even if it was not to, say, bribe or facilitate, just the logistical requirements for campaigning is up there. But also for a politician, you know that all have their own strategies. There are those who will, invest more on the last few days to the actual elections. And so probably the strategy usually is to spend very less as you start and probably invest more as you approach on the D-Day for the general elections. And so that would inform partly the approach. But in terms of discussions on what approach is most effective given the dynamics, I think it's a case to case. But for me, again, I want to focus more around the concerns around why there seems not to be hype, there seems not to be active involvement, especially by the people, on what is happening. I think there's been a fundamental shortage in terms of civic awareness, but also even preparing the ground to understand what exactly is forthcoming, because we've had less information, at least as far as what the citizens should be expecting, what are some of the things that is expected of them as we approach to the general election. So there's a bit of knowledge gap. There's a bit of information going to the people for them to even understand exactly what's happening. And so between the previous this week and probably the next coming weeks, the public will be trying to familiarize themselves with this new process. I know the presidential elections have
stretched more than a month.
Yes, but I think that it hasn't still. You can see that the ground is not yet very active in receiving or in receiving the election season, which is still a fundamental problem. And so probably there needed to be more work going towards civic education, but also preparing the ground to understand
Okay.
and getting ready for the process.
All right. Richard, not Baguma. I'm talking to Richard Chindro. I don't even know why you sat next to each other. And both of you are Richard. But Richard Chintu, do you see any twists and turns, any changes that have come along with the start of the Member of Parliament campaigns?
Yeah, of course, the changes are going to be there. And I think the most fundamental changes are in the approaches.
Okay.
We are now seeing this Honorable Luzi, you know,
Yes. Sarah
going
is
so much on social media and bringing a campaign that is unprecedented. He passes off as a person who doesn't care about what the voters are going to say. But the fact that he's using new media, social media, to push his agenda, his campaign, is very interesting. And it tells of a candidate that knows actually his voters, because when you look at the wires, when you look at the social media, the guy is gaining traction.
Yeah.
But whether that alone is going to be enough still remains a question that we need to explore more. And the other thing also is, if I go back to the door-to-door, it is being used so much. We have seen Honorable Nambi, that is in Kawempe North, employ it. Then we have seen Nakandi, and then we have seen David Musiri in Machinde. But when you look at them, I think, like Mr. Wandera said, it is more of the economics than anything. Because for me, to differ from Mr. Wandera, I don't think this door-to-door is a very effective, is a very effective approach, especially because when you look at it, how much ground are you going to cover if you're going to go door-to-door? It also has its challenges, but I believe, especially when you look at Kampala politics, it is not about the door-to-door that is going to win you votes. Sometimes it depends on the candidate. If you talk about Honorable Kyagulanyi, for example, we all know when he came on the political scene, he was a very big star. So even if his door-to-door was very effective, we are not going to look on at that, because even Muwada Nkunyinji tried that. Actually, he was even more comical. He was going to the wells, the water points, meeting ladies, then he would carry jerry cans. He would go split firewood in people's homes, sweeping homes, you know. Yes, it was populist, door to door, but the candidate himself was a bit weak. So